This is the Nerdy Things Podcast. This podcast contains strong language, adult themes, and poorly developed ideas. We apologize for nothing. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of the Nerdy Things Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin. I'm joined, as always, by Jules. Hey, Jules.
Heyo.
And by Tim. What's going on, Tim?
What up, what up, what up?
Tim's reporting in by satellite from the beach yet again.
Again?
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, I'm back in the cottage. I got the real mic this time, so hopefully I don't sound like I'm in a bag of potato chips. Which I think the description used last time.
No, I said you were in the toilet.
You know what, Tim? I don't know what you were doing. There was something you were in the middle of, and I think you definitely knocked your microphone into a bag of potato chips, and you're going to respond and say that it's attached to the computer.
Yeah.
I know, but you still somehow knocked your microphone into a bag of potato chips, and it fell all the way down. It hit the sides all the way, it crinkled, it crunched, and it sounded amazing.
Were they Doritos?
I don't know.
Were they Cool Ranch?
I don't know.
You can tell by the sound. Yeah, you can tell. Cool Ranch.
Yes, Cool Ranch has its own distinctive timbre. So I gotta say, I'm coming from the beach. This time I'm literally coming from the beach. And it's really overcast, but it's warm, it's humid, it's heavy. And I got a tank top on, and I got this, kind of soft top baseball hat, and I'm hot. And so I got it turned backwards right now, kind of tilted up a little bit, and my hair's too longer than I want, so it's coming out the sides. You know that grimy radio DJ that you think of, the backwards hat guy going, oh, it's the zoo. That's what I look like. Yeah. I'm looking in the mirror right now. I'm on a dresser and I'm facing the mirror, which I hate doing anyways. So yeah, I'm looking at myself. I'm coming at you from the zoo, 96.9.
Yeah. Are you wearing one of the new Slick Kitties tank tops you got over there? No?
I haven't got it yet. It's on its way in pink, because pink is the baller color for the Slick Kitties shirt. So if you guys want to go to, what is it, T-Shop? What's it called?
Oh, God. That's why you don't do any of the ad stuff. tpublic.com. And search Nerdy Things Pod.
tpublic.com, search Nerdy Things Pod, no spaces. You're going to find our selection. Some things are on sale. There's a coupon code, Nerdy Things Pod, also no spaces. Click on the Slick Kitties t-shirt, make it pink, and your life will be changed forever.
I'm going to make the default pink now, just for you.
Yes!
Very cool. Yeah, we have a bunch of new stuff in our merch area. So we have a cool Stranger Things parody. It says Nerdy Things on there, and it looks really cool. Probably going to get one of those. We have a design I made, Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man. We're going to talk about that later because he is fantastic. And we have the Slick Kitties. What the fuck? I made it up. So what the fuck is it? It's a waterless resort and theme park, as heard on the Wild Pitch episode 11, and I think he enjoyed that as well. So go check it out. We have links for all that stuff on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Nerdy Things Pod. Everything is Nerdy Things Pod, but tpublic.com. Search Nerdy Things Pod, no spaces and all that. If you want to check out some of the nerdy news that we talk about in our podcast, go to nerdythingspod.com, and you can find the YouTube videos that we post, links to the podcast if you want to hear more of us, and just general cool nerd stuff that we like. And it's all right there on our website for you to check out. And we have some original content from William and Kevin, sometimes scattered throughout all of that.
Whenever we can.
What else do we have? Yeah, we have the Patreon. Patreon.com/NerdyThingsPod. You can help us financially. We are so close to getting to our first goal of watching Hook. And if you want to hear an entire commentary of the Hook movie, become a patron. And we have a bunch of new exclusive stuff as well. We're releasing probably one thing a week. I think that's pretty steady that we're going to release exclusive content only for our patrons there. And you can listen to it before anybody else, see some cool pictures and all that cool stuff. So go donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdythingspod. If you can't do any of that, we really love our iTunes reviews. And I'm going to read one right now because it's a new one and it's pretty awesome. It's from M Jones 70. We got a new, do we have a theme song for that? No,
we're not going to do a theme song for that. That's too much.
iTunes review?
Nope.
Oh,
iTunes
no?
review.
Damn it.
Review.
M Jones 70, love the banter. I love the way the hosts banter back and forth. Interesting topics. Looking forward to seeing where they go next. Thank you, M Jones. Thank you to everybody that's already left us a review. We are slowly growing the community of Nerdy Things podcast listeners, and we thank you. Thank you so much. Tell your friend, tell your mother, tell anybody that likes nerdy stuff about us, and we'll be so happy. And if you want to tweet us and let us know, we'll tweet you back, and we'll retweet you or whatever. Just let us know that you're listening and all that stuff.
Don't limit it just to people you know and like. Tell everyone. Tell people you hate. Yell it out at the guy that cut you off in traffic. Tell everyone about us.
For sure. Do all that cool stuff.
I saw Spider-Man yesterday, and I just, like, right as the movie is about to start, I was just shouted, "Nerdy Things Pod!"
And then you ran out.
No, I stayed there. People
you
looked at me
web
really
swing
weird.
away. Oh, okay. So yeah, what we usually do on the podcast is we talk about some cool nerdy stuff, nerdy topics that happened this week, and then we have a main topic at the end. Yeah, huge topic at the end. Main topic, huge topic. And this one is the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. Everybody's doing a podcast about the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, but we're going to do a, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 review, right, guys? That's what we're doing today. We're Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. And
Jules is going to talk about it for 2 minutes because he didn't see the actual Spider-Man movie, so we'll give him 2 minutes to hashtag
But we got to be different.
Spider-Man.
He gave Homecoming a miss. That's not different. That's wrong.
Don't yuck anybody's yums. My favorite is Tobey Maguire. So we're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming at the end, spoiler and unspoiler review and all that stuff. But first, let's get into nerdy news.
Nerdy news.
Nerdy news.
At 6 o'clock. Absolutely.
Guys, I forgot I was gonna have a persona this week.
Oh.
Like, I know I started off as the crazy DJ because I was like looking at it in my head.
Sharky and the douche.
Yeah. No, I was down at the beach and all my relatives we're in Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and all my relatives are from Massachusetts. As you know, I don't have much of an accent, but like some of my other family members do. And my uncle lives in Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. We were actually talking about the car crash when we did the Wild Pitch podcast the other day. Yeah. He was relating to that. But anyways, he likes to come back to Massachusetts and make fun of Massachusetts accents. And so I was getting ready to come up here. I had a couple of hard ciders in me. I was like, I got to go record. Guys, I got to record the podcast. I'm going to be Schmitty today, like all podcasts. What's up, guys? Nerdy news?
Or not. Oh, we can skip that.
Yeah.
Listen, kid.
Edit that out, right?
Shut up, kid. I'm going to fight you in a bar.
Oh, God. All right. So.
Now that that's over.
You don't know who you're messing with, kid. All right? You don't know.
I know who I'm messing with. I'm messing
you don't
with
even
the
know
guy
me.
Who I'm about to edit out of the podcast.
I don't know y'all people. Y'all people don't know my people. We're going to come after you.
Hey. You're slipping into Rhode Island. Don't do that. All right?
No, nobody ever wants to slip into Rhode Island.
That was not Boston. That was Rhode Island.
Nobody ever wants to go to Rhode Island.
I swear to God, I'm going to come down there and punch you in the mouth. You're like 20 minutes from my house.
Howdy, y'all. I'm from Texas.
All right. First thing in this week's nerdy news is the sad news that Stan Lee's wife, Joan Lee, has passed. She was the voice of Madam Web in the Spider-Man cartoon. It was sad. I'm very sad.
Yeah, you saw everybody reaching out and showing their support for Stan Lee and the family in this time, and it just only makes me really sad that, Stan Lee might not have a whole lot more time either, and that's really horrible to think about, but I can't imagine a world without Stan Lee in it, because he just made such a big impact already, and even crossing over into movies and all that stuff, an even bigger impact on pop culture and everything. So
yeah, well, I heard a while ago that they recorded a couple of other like extra scenes for him for future Marvel movies, just in the event that we do lose him.
Yeah, but how weird is that though?
No, it is.
That's hella weird. Like, he's already dead, and then it's like, oh, he's in this new movie, Spider-Man, whatever, and it's like, oh, that's awkward. I don't want that.
I mean, that's certainly better than them like CGIing him.
No, see, I was just gonna say, I hope that because he's a forward-thinking guy and because he's served to his properties, that he actually signs a waiver upon his death that says that Marvel can CG him into future movies. Like, just for the one scene cameo. Because imagine, like, being Stan Lee, you said, I want to be in one scene for every one of my movies. And then upon your death, you say, I know that forevermore I will be in one scene of all of the movies that celebrate the beloved characters that I created. How cool would that be?
That'd be really cool. And that is certainly something he could do. That's the future of movies right there, is you're not the actor, you're just the face.
But I mean, I think for someone like him,
do you think he would still get money from it?
I mean, his estate will get money for these properties forever.
So like he can sign that and be like, for every movie I'm in, and I'm going to be in all of them, I get X amount of money more because I'm in it or whatever. And then he can just, give it to his family and all that. So that could be cool.
Yeah, sure. I just think it would be a neat thing for him to think of, because I think it would be one of the first times that you have, we'll call him an actor, who would know before his passing that he would be set to be in movies, Yeah. So, I mean, he's in a unique position to actually do that if he so desired. I think it would be neat, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be better than what they did to Paul Walker and, CGIing him in after his accident.
They said they did so much for that. Like, they did so much CGI and all that stuff that still looked really bad. It did not look... I was, like, expecting this amazing... I was like, okay, they're going to honor him, whatever. And I looked at it, I was like, wow, this isn't the greatest CGI. Like, they had better CGI in the other parts of the movie. Like, what's going on?
No, and with some of the scenes that happened in that movie, I felt like they recut some of it and, like, edited storylines down to change it and used footage from other things that they had of him.
I'm sure they did.
Because it was definitely a phone call that he had with his girlfriend that, like, they were having two different conversations.
Yeah.
And it was more serious on her end than on his, and it was just like they were trying to amp it up.
Yeah.
But you know what? What are you going to do?
I heard talk that they almost put him into the latest one. They almost put him into Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, see, that I would have had a problem with. But doing what they did with the last one, mediocre CG aside, I think it was necessary, and I think he would have been happy that it happened. And Kevin, we talked about this last week for some random reason. It was so weird being in a movie, because I went opening night to that movie. Like, to be in a room full of tough guys, I'm putting air quotes up there, all these car guys, these, bros, whatever. And you see Paul Walker, you see Vin Diesel, you hear that song, and then they're driving in different ways. And then after the credits roll and the lights come up, all these guys that, apparently have itchy eyes and, like sunglass marks or whatever. It was like, I've never seen so many tough guys in one room all like trying to hide the fact they were just crying. I mean, I'm
not crying. It's just really sandy in here.
I mean, it's funny, but obviously it's sad because Paul Walker's gone. But it is, I think funny that he evoked that emotion in those people, and I actually think the way that they handled that it was very tasteful. I thought they did an excellent job, in my personal opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah, speaking of the Fast movies, I read a tweet that said the next movie, or whenever they get to 10, it should be called Fast 10. Your seatbelts. And I laughed. I laughed so hard.
The Rock was teasing something though on his Instagram with the
presidency.
Fast franchise.
Yeah, he was. Oh, what?
No, something he was talking about the Fast franchise, and he was teasing something. It was super vague, but I think we've got a spinoff that's going to be announced soon.
Oh
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with him and the other one. I'm cool with it. What else do we got for this week? Today,
in other sad Marvel news, we have Jeremy Renner broke both of his arms.
That was me. I broke his arms. Guy pissed me off. I broke both his arms, kid. Me and Jimmy.
Go back to Quahog.
Me and Jimmy came out to the alley and we're like, "What, kid? You want to fight with us?" And we broke his arms.
Tim, for someone from around the Boston area, you do the worst Boston accent I have ever heard.
This is a totally fake Boston accent. This is
my
parody. This is my parody of a Boston accent.
And I mean, good work, because this does mean I have to keep in the prior bullshit that I was going to cut out.
Yes!
But, yeah, no, Jeremy Renner broke both of his arms while filming a new comedy, Tag. But apparently it won't affect Avengers Infinity War because he's a trooper and all he does is pretend to shoot arrows.
Do we know how that happened? Did they say how it happened? Like, what is that
From what I understand, he was it. and he went to tag someone. I don't know. I don't even know what this movie is about.
Wait, is that actually the premise of the movie, or are you being funny?
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, with everything else
Probably.
they've done, they did Battleship. What's next?
They're doing that new William Shakespeare origin show, so I mean, they might as well do a tag.
Dude, but they set up a franchise. So you start with Tag, and then you can go to Flashlight Tag, the sequel.
Yep.
Freeze Tag, the final
God,
part of
Freeze
the
Tag.
trilogy.
And then the spin-off like Hide and Seek or something.
Yes.
Just keep going with it.
Yes, that's the prequel.
Yeah, the prequel's Hide and Seek, and then it just turns into a tag game.
Hey,
Yeah,
no, the
definitely.
prequel to the prequel is Peekaboo. It's the first game you learn.
So yeah,
but that
I
one
mean,
takes a dark turn. That one's a horror.
y'all have never broken your arm playing tag before
No.
as a kid? I mean, come on.
I've broken my arm skiing after a girl, and it didn't work out.
Skiing after a girl. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
Come
back.
we were skiing, and I went off a little tiny jump, and I was like, hey, this is totally going to impress her, and I broke my arm, and she just kept skiing. It was kind of awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've always been as awkward as I am now.
Hashtag Nerdy Things Pod. Yeah. If you haven't seen the picture of Jeremy Renner with his two broken arms, it looks kind of funny, but I'm sure that must have hurt, and nobody really knows how that happened yet. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, I guess. And that was just super interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. All the news this week is just super Spider-Man. Like, go watch Spider-Man.
A lot of
go
it
watch
is.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
Homecoming. So we have a lot of articles and stuff that aren't the greatest. But
So
we're
speaking
gonna
of
let you know.
actors that play archers that don't do much,
Ooh, I like
Stephen
that.
Amell was out recently and talking about how Manu Bennett is coming back for the next season of Arrow. For those who don't watch, he plays the villain Deathstroke, and he was the big villain for season 1 and season 2 and some of season 3 and also every other season.
And he's coming back. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. No,
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
he has been away for a little while. I don't think he was in last season, but they've teased him repeatedly because they do a lot of crossovers with those CW shows. And so they did like a future show with the Legends of Tomorrow where they met Deathstroke Jr., and so you saw a guy in his mask, and then there was, of course, like a fever dream where Deathstroke was there, but it wasn't Manu Bennett playing him. And I don't know, it gets weird, but
Can you
I
imagine?
guess he's coming back.
Can you imagine if the CW like really wanted to broaden their appeal and they had like superhero crossovers and like Pretty Little Liars, or
Right.
or like
Man,
Rain,
that just ended,
like
but yeah.
like back in Mary Queen of Scots, and they had like I don't know Time Travel Man or some time traveling superhero.
That'd be really cool. During a different interview, Stephen Amell was actually talking about, someone asked him about a crossover with Supernatural. And he was basically
Ooh.
cagey about it. He was like, oh, that's up to them. They're the veterans of the CW. So you'd have to talk to them, which isn't news. I love all these articles that I read that are like, oh my God, is Arrow doing a Supernatural crossover? And it's like some weird fan asked, and the actor was like, I wouldn't be opposed to it, which isn't.
That's pretty much what all
how is that
clickbaity
news?
news is now. That's all.
It is.
That's
It
all
absolutely
clickbaity
is.
stuff is now. It's just like somebody has an idea, asks a certain actor or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll do it, sure, whatever." And it's like news front page, whatever, and it's like, "Oh fucking Christ!" Like that's pretty much 90% of the news we see for nerdy
Yeah.
stuff nowadays.
The Flash in the
Yeah,
next
no,
episode of iZombie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like actually, I might start watching iZombie then, because that
But-
would only make the Flash better.
Yeah, I saw some of the first season, but whatever. But I mean, Supernatural is kind of does that sort of weird stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been going on for so long. What is it, 12 seasons or something like that now?
12, 13 seasons, something like
12
that.
or
And I
13
think we
seasons.
talked earlier about how they're doing a Scooby-Doo episode this season.
Yeah.
Are they
So
really?
like, I'm pretty sure they're open to whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not gonna be hard to get him on there. So like they do a bunch of like weird, just singular episodes, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's kind of campy, but whatever. And they're gonna do it, and they've stayed on the air for that long. So why not just throw them in there? Do it.
Yeah, it's working.
Good on them, man.
So like Supernatural, the other thing that won't die is James Bond. Apparently Daniel Craig's coming back for the 5th one. I don't really care. They're all the same fucking movie. Like they all feel to me like they are young
All of his
James
movies?
Bond. trying to get to James Bond. Yeah, all of his movies and all of the ones prior to that. Like, I feel like the Daniel Craig James Bond movies are all meant to be like prequel James Bond movies, because the first couple started off where he's like new to the field and just getting used to it. And by the end of every one of them, it feels like they've set him up to be James Bond that we know and love from the other movies at the end of the movie. And then the next one picks up and it feels like they've gone backwards. And we have that set up again where he gets the car and now he's James Bond, but then he isn't. He's not the same James Bond.
And what's this about Adele that's gonna join him? What's
Yeah,
that?
she's coming back to do the theme song again.
Song?
She's done the theme song for the last couple.
Yeah, she's really banked on those. So, I mean, her Adele Daniel Craig collab makes a good James Bond movie? ? I don't know. Y'all let us know on Twitter if you like Daniel Craig's James Bond at Nerdy Things Pod. We'd like to hear what you think about his James Bond, or if you're like a James Bond fan or 007 fan, whatever. Do you like all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of James Bond fans out there. It's not like it's a bad property.
Die-hard James Bond fans. The only thing, I saw one of the recent ones. I don't know. I only saw one of the Daniel Craig ones, and it was all right. But it was like less, to me, it was less a James Bond movie, and it was more a, what's the one with Matt Damon?
Bourne?
Yeah, it was more a Bourne movie. You know? It was James Bond trying to transition into the Bourne era.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're James Bond. You're iconic. Be James Bond.
But that's kind of my point. He's not.
Iconic?
Well, no. James Bond is iconic, but Daniel Craig is not the iconic James Bond.
So I get that. And so that's the other thing, too. So Daniel Craig says he was going to move on. Great, move on. Like, find a real James Bond. I don't know. This whole thing, like, this is really bothering. I don't know why, because I really don't care that much. But it's like, you said you were going to move on. Move on. Let there be another James Bond. Either let them do what they said they were going to do and have, Idris Elba be the first African-American James Bond,
cool.
Or find a guy that's more akin to your classic James Bond guy, which Daniel Craig wasn't, and bring the series back where it should be. Because, to be honest with you, The Kingsman was more James Bond to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're not wrong.
I don't know. I just think James Bond is losing itself. And yeah, great. Adele's going to do another music for it. Who really cares about that? Like,
do you think it's because of the era and what they want to bring millennials and stuff into the James Bond franchise? Is that why they're doing like all this other stuff that's not so James Bondy, like,
I
before?
think probably, but look how well The Kingsman did.
Oh,
right.
So it's clear that if you do that right, that everybody will watch it, young and old. Like, just be who you are. Just do it really well. And I guess that movie was fine for what it was for like 2 or 3 of them. But I guess the biggest issue I have is he said he was going to move on. So there's been all this hype about him moving on, and now, I'm coming back now. Like, no. Like, find something else to do, dude.
Because he couldn't find the right scripts. He's just like, well, I guess
so.
I still got that old, that old girl there. So
yeah, I'll just fall back on James Bond.
Yeah, there you go. That's his fallback. His James Bond. I propose going back prequel all the way to the beginning. Get Tom Holland as a James Bond. I mean, he's the it guy,
dude,
right?
I've already had a bunch of things to drink. Don't make me vomit.
No,
I love Tom
what the kids
Holland.
want. That's what the kids want. These
let's
days.
save that for later.
All right.
Oh boy.
So,
I mean,
Spider-Man.
You brought up that Adele's coming back. I mean, the music can make or break a movie. I don't feel like the James Bond themes actually do anything to add to it. But I did read that John Williams will not be doing the music for the upcoming Ready Player One from Spielberg. It's actually going to go to the guy that did Forrest Gump's music, Alan Silvestri.
Silvestri's fantastic.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I mean, John Williams has done all but 2 of Spielberg's feature films over the last 43 years.
John Williams is busy with Star Wars. I mean, let's give him that. I'm serious. I'm being serious.
No, I know.
Like, he's doing the Star Wars movies, and I think he has something else on his plate, and I can't recall what it is right now. But yeah, I mean, that's fine.
That's
the
whatever. Papers.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. The Papers.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, but it's their 28th feature collaboration.
Huh.
Yeah, I knew there was something else he was working on. So I get it. He's got too much on his plate, and he's like 100. So that's good. I mean, Spielberg, like, let's be honest. I mean, Spielberg's old too, but if Spielberg continues to make movies or plans to continue to make movies, he's got to find a new partner because John Williams is 100. And we said it's going to be tragic when he's lost to us, but, you know, it's going to happen. No question about it.
Yeah, one of the more, you know, decorated and fabulous composers of the modern era. So definitely, you know, with, I guess, what did you say? The Papers and Star Wars, he's doing 2 scores in 1 year. That's a lot of work. a lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people only do maybe one a year.
Real talk, he's 85. That's freaking crazy.
No, it is. That is insane. You know, I hope I'm not working that hard when I'm 85. I hope I'm either retired or dead by that point.
I mean, he loves it, so that's awesome, but he's 85. He has 344 soundtracks to his credit.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's amazing.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Silvestri's not bad either, and Ready Player One, I'm not too sure. I'm on the fence about that one, so we'll see if, you know, how that goes and if the music helps it out. Because I don't know if it's going to be the greatest movie, but we'll see. We'll check it out. I'm definitely down for it. I don't know.
Apparently, I'm in the minority because I didn't like the book for Ready Player One, and I'm seeing everybody else loved that book.
Everybody loved it, but I'm not too sure about a movie.
It left a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten it.
Yeah, I find that eating books is less enjoyable than reading them.
Yeah.
So
fun fact.
That
Tim's
might be why you didn't enjoy it. I didn't. Tim's fun facts. Books are less enjoyable if you eat them. I didn't eat or read the book, but I'm kind of excited about the movie. I mean, we talked about this. I just think this will be a defining moment for late stage career of Steven Spielberg. So let's see what happens.
I mean, the other late stage career we've talked about a lot recently is Ridley Scott. Because, you know, dude's 79 and definitely senile, judging by the latest movies from him.
Yeah. And what does he want? He wants Ripley back for the next Aliens movie?
Yeah. Someone asked him about it, and he's not opposed to using CGI to de-age Sigourney Weaver or someone who looks suspiciously like her to appear in this the latest movie. We're getting into that time frame where we're going to have to encounter something, but I don't think the movies need. This is the problem. I don't think we ever have to encounter Ripley in the prequels. She's just a cargo hauler. Or actually, I'm sorry, she's just HR on a ship that hauls cargo. So she's nothing. She's not an important character until she's an important character. You know, like she's not someone we need to see in these movies. Just make the story good. You don't have to make it connect, except that it just is the same story.
Or
let him play connect the dots. If that's where he is in his development, you know, into dementia, let him play connect the dots.
But
he likes the game, you know.
But I don't want to have to watch it, and my OCD won't let me skip one of those movies.
You're already too far in.
I will have to watch it. No, Ugh.
All right, moving on.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I thought I saw Sigourney Weaver in LA Traffic, but it wasn't her. So go get her. Go let her play.
Cool story.
She looked younger.
Cool story.
Yeah, it's fucking unnecessary. But, you know, this
news
kind of
traffic because you know who else drives in traffic? Motorcycle drivers. And you know what motorcycle drivers do? They get into motorcycle gangs.
Oh, boy.
Really? Well, name a motorcycle gang for me, Tim.
Well, there was the Sons of Anarchy, but they also had an opposing gang called the Mayans, and that's a spin-off of the Sons of Anarchy.
How's that doing? Is that doing well?
Well, it's going through some reshoots,
Kev. Riveting. Awesome.
It looks like Kurt Sutter is stepping back from directing role in the reshoots. He's focusing more on the writing. They might be recasting some main characters. I was a little, kind of concerned about this, but apparently the same thing happened during the pilot for Sons, and Sons ended up being a phenomenal series. So I'm going to keep my faith in Kurt. He did a great job with the last series, so hopefully this works out too.
Why should I see Sons of Anarchy? Tell me in two or three sentences.
It is one of the best TV shows ever.
Okay, counter argument, Jules. You should not watch it. Because I think it is one of the best TV shows ever on television.
Oh, I'm gonna go with
The
Kevin.
third to last episode. I will say this confidently. The third to last episode of Sons of Anarchy was the greatest single episode of television I've ever watched.
Well, you haven't watched Breaking
Absolutely
Bad, so I don't know.
Incredible.
I'd back that up.
Yeah, I mean, something later on in Breaking Bad, if I had gotten to it, might have been better. But I've watched a lot of TV in my 34 years, and I never watched a single episode better than that one. It was as good as most movies. It was incredible. It's worth watching the whole dang series
just for that
for that one.
Okay.
But the rest of it's great. In all honesty, like the whole series, it's well written. That you think every year they can't come back and have this same arc where they're like, oh, something's going wrong, and then it gets fixed. But yet, it's always interesting. It never feels redundant. It never feels contrived. It doesn't suffer from the Walking Dead syndrome. It just is interesting, and it keeps being interesting right to the end. And they stopped it at the right time. They could have kept going, but they said, no, this is the time. We will become redundant after this. Let's finish it. And they finished it really strong. It was awesome. Great.
Yeah,
great
it had great tension throughout the whole thing, and they didn't let up. Like it was tough to breathe through some of those episodes.
Very cool.
But yeah, no, you're right, Tim. I would give Kurt, who I didn't realize until like halfway through watching, was Katie Seagal's husband. But I would give Kurt Sutter benefit of the doubt on this, because you're right. There was some, some of the same stuff that went with Sons, and I think he's one that just wants to get it right, and that's why
Agreed.
This is happening. I'm cool.
And
with
can
that.
I say I give him credit for writing maybe the most hateable character I've ever seen for his wife.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He gave the role to his wife, and
That's
she
great.
is possibly the most hateable character in the history of film, literature, or anything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And on the other side of that coin, he gave himself the worst person, best guy role in that, because he was a bad guy, but he was a really good guy. Like I love
the most loyal.
Otto.
Possible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, definitely, Jules. You should give that a shot.
Very cool.
You know what though? I have issue with what you just said, Tim. The worst role is actually whoever is going to be cast to play Shia LaBeouf in the movie about his life.
He can only play
Nobody
himself.
can play Shia.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna
Shia.
play
He's
himself.
going to play himself. It's going to be performance art.
No, he won't do it because he's too good. He's too good for it. I guarantee it. I'm calling it now.
Did y'all
I
watch
saw the
that
arrest video.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the arrest video, but did y'all see that live
The
stream
live
he did
show. Oh God,
of
no.
him watching all his
I couldn't
stuff?
watch it.
It was
No,
so
he's such
great.
a tool. I'm
my
sorry.
hero.
I liked him at one point. I have to say, like he was in that cheesy. Was it Disney or Nickelodeon? Even
It
Stevens.
was Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
You liked him
Yeah,
back
but-
then. He was like 16.
No, I didn't like him then. He
Okay.
was this like annoying little brother. But then I'm like, he came and did some good movies. Like he did Transformers, but then he
Sure.
did some stuff that I enjoyed.
Yeah. Some of his performance art is interesting and pretty kind of cool, but a lot of it's just way out there. And it's just like, oh man, what are you doing?
I don't see him getting any better from this without massive help, because he's an asshole.
I don't think it's drugs. It's alcohol.
Maybe. I think it's.
You can tell usually when you see a guy who's addicted to something and the acting out is a result of something, you can usually kind of tell what it's coming from. That dude's got alcoholic all over him.
But I'm just not sure.
And I feel bad for that.
And I get that, but I'm also not sure if it's just that he's self-medicating with the alcohol.
It's possible. You're exactly right.
I think he did like all the crazy stuff, right? And then now people, I mean, I've seen videos of people just coming up to him on the street, just starting shit with him. And I'm pretty sure he gets that constantly. And I don't think I could take that constantly. Every time I would go out, somebody is going to scream at my face about some bullshit agenda or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of took him over the edge. And that's what, we
it's
sort
gotta
of
be
see when he got
tough.
arrested. Yeah.
But you got to kind of, when you're in that spotlight, you have to kind of let that roll off your back. Like you can't let that get to you. But I wonder if him focusing on it is a sign of some form of mental illness.
Maybe. And he's been in the spotlight
It's
for a
very
long
possible.
time. So we see what Lindsay Lohan went through, what Miley Cyrus goes through, and all these
we
other
see it
people.
all the time. Britney Spears
Went through it too. So it's like Shia LaBeouf in it is he kind of just in this weird stage, and then he's gonna be an amazing actor later on in his like 40s or whatever. I mean, he's doing some cool indie stuff right now, which is really awesome. But like his personal life is definitely taking the forefront of all the news articles and all that stuff. I mean, later on, I really hope for Shia that maybe he gets some help, or I don't know, but hopefully he can start putting out a ton more movies and working on that stuff, so we can see an older Shia that has a huge, movie discography, and that'd be super cool.
Hey, best case scenario is he's Robert Downey Jr.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a guy that did it.
So, I mean, seriously, think about it. I mean, Robert Downey Jr., same age, went through the same kind of stuff. His career went in a spiral. And then Iron Man's, and I think Mel Gibson essentially saved him because Mel Gibson went to bat for him, as I understand it. So, I mean, there is a blueprint for this happening where, I mean, because obviously you see Charlie Sheen, who just goes the opposite direction. But Robert Downey Jr. now seems to have his stuff together, So Shia LaBeouf, best case scenario.
Yeah.
LaBeouf, you go,
What superhero do you want Shia to play? What? That's the question right now. I just thought of it. What?
Oh God!
If you could, who would the superhero Shia play in either Marvel or DC? I'm thinking about it. I don't know who.
Old Spider-Man. I'm sick of teenage Spider-Man. All right, I'm gonna save it. But old Spider-Man. Let's put it that way. Old Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't want him to play anyone.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, you see this though a lot in young actors that then grow up and still remain actors. I mean, how many people were on like the Mickey Mouse Club that then wound up being weird and wacky?
Weird and wacky.
You know what's funny though about the Mickey Mouse Club is most of them have turned it around at this point.
Yeah.
Like Britney Spears is super normal now.
Yeah.
Like her whole Instagram is full of pictures of her kids, like her in less than flattering pictures sometimes to like be a real person and say, hey, it's okay not to be perfect. Christina Aguilera's, for a diva, relatively normal. Justin Timberlake, super normal. Like, so most of them have all kind of like turned it around.
Did Ryan Gosling have that low? Did he? Because I don't remember him ever being in that low period. Because Ryan Gosling's huge now too.
I think he just kind of didn't get big early enough.
Sure.
I think he got lucky. Like, call it that. Yeah. He struggled for a little while, so I think he got lucky, and he was an adult before he finally got the fame.
Yeah, because he was in a couple of TV movies, and then he was in like Drive, and a couple of then he blew up. Now he's in The Notebook, but now he's in Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. There, what the hell's it called? Blade Runner, and he's expressed interest in the Willy Wonka prequel too.
Really?
Yeah. He wants to play a young Willy Wonka when Willy originally meets the Oompa Loompas in Oompa Loompa Land.
Yeah, that's a whole book too. I read all those fucking books when I was a kid. They're pretty interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're fucking weird. They're off the wall. They're bonkers. But
I'm a big Ryan Gosling supporter, so if that's what he wants
Willy
to do,
Wonka,
I think he can do it.
Did you like what's his name as Willy Wonka?
I do.
I don't know. I think Ryan Gosling is a little too stoic to be Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
See, I think Ryan Gosling has more range than people think he does.
Nah, we'll have to see.
I think a lot of the stuff that he does, like when he plays in romantic comedies, he's very subtle about the humor, and I think that's intentional. I think he has more range than people want to let him. Like, I think he's milking this part of his career. He's like, I'm really good looking. People want to give me really good looking roles. I get to be a little funny sometimes. I get to be a little serious other times. But there'll be a time for me to do something that's going to make people go, wow, I didn't think you could do that. And this might be it.
But
this might be his Jack Sparrow. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of putting the two together. When he played Jack Sparrow, people were like, oh, look at this character. And he almost won an Academy Award for it. You know what I mean? So this could be Ryan Gosling's like, wow, I didn't think he had this side of him.
That growth, like almost iconic. We didn't know he could do it. Yeah, I could see it.
But the real question is, who the fuck wants a Willy Wonka prequel? Like, what the fuck
nobody.
is that?
No, nobody.
If Ryan Gosling's in it, it'll make money.
I'll see it.
I'm
I'll
sure,
see it.
yeah,
but there's other reasons for that.
what fucking meeting is like, all right, well, what do we got here? What's next on the docket? Willy Wonka prequel. Oh yes, let's all fucking do that one. Who? Ryan Gosling, sure, why not? Because the last Willy Wonka did so well.
Hey, you're giving them way too much agency. They definitely sit down and go, okay, what do we own that we can make very cheap?
Okay,
Boom.
there you
That's
go.
all
right
it
there.
is. It's we own
Yep.
Willy Wonka? Really? Oh, okay.
We still got
but
that?
like
Oh shit.
the prequel? Okay. Yeah, that's all it is.
How long's it been?
You know.
Like 6 years maybe? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's it for the nerdy news.
I'm just waiting for my for that new Xbox to drop so I can grab one. No, I'm not. Nobody is.
Xbox X. Are we doing Think Fast?
Yes. So Tim, think fast. What was
Okay.
the last book that you read?
Boogers.
What the fuck?
It was really like a chapter book and very interesting.
All right.
Jules, where's the last place you traveled?
I went to LA, so that was pretty fun. Saw what's his name there in traffic. So yeah, Tim, what's the worst restaurant you have ever eaten at?
Well, that would be Boogers R Us.
I'm confused. I don't know how this game works.
Salty. Kevin, how should success be measured?
Oh, with your penis. Huh. Okay, Jules,
Low bar.
if you could have any animal for a pet, what would it be?
A giraffe, because they get me, because we're both tall. Kevin, if you were given a 1-year sabbatical from work, what would you do?
I would definitely just kind of wander around asking for change. Tim, what book had the biggest effect on the modern world?
War. Huh. What is it good for?
Is that the first half of War and Peace?
That's how it goes.
Yes.
That's where they got it from. Adaptation.
Seinfeld reference. People will get it. Kevin, if you were an ice cream flavor, which one would you be and why?
Chocolate, because I'm delicious. Oh, well, ugh. All right, Jules, what's your first childhood memory?
Probably my birthday when I had a piñata in the backyard. Wait, do y'all know what piñatas are?
There it is,
Do y'all know what
piñata.
piñatas are? Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We know what piñatas are.
I'm just making sure.
I just like you
Piñatas.
saying
Tim just loves how you say it.
Piñata. Tim, what is
Piñata.
your biggest regret? Did I already ask that one? No, I didn't. Okay.
Yes, that I didn't go to the Red Sox clinching World Series game in 2013. Wow, I had this answer ready to go because Ryan Dempster was throwing batting practice at 2 a.m. and I was reading about it on Twitter. And I should have just spent $1,000 to go to the damn
Jesus,
game.
Did he breathe? Jeez.
Jules, who do you think has the biggest impact on fashion trend?
Well, I saw Kevin in that cool new Nerdy Things podcast shirt, so I'm gonna say Kevin.
Boom. I think we end right there.
Done.
That was
All
our Think Fast segment before the huge topic.
Huge topic.
Main topic.
All right, so
Main
it's time for the
topic.
main topic. This week's main topic is Spider-Man. We most of us, 2/3 of us, went and saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. Jules went and watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man for some reason.
Yeah, I'll talk about
And
that
so
one
we're
all
gonna
day.
we're gonna talk about Spider-Man.
So,
We're going to talk about how Tom Holland's a little prick.
oh,
Why
shit.
is Tom Holland the little prick, Tim?
I want to hear
The
this?
whole movie, he is. I mean, literally the whole movie.
So wait, are we gonna do
Because-
spoilers or no spoilers?
For
Right now.
anybody listening that hasn't seen the movie,
There you
we're gonna spoil everything.
Okay,
There's gonna be full
It's been
spoilers.
like a whole week.
Spider-Man:
yeah.
Homecoming.
Go to the movies.
Oh god, I'm busy. Anyways, okay. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Spoilers. You know, you've been warned.
See y'all later. Patreon.com/nerdythingspod. Go, subscribe and all that stuff. Leave us an iTunes review. Go buy some merch. All that stuff. Thank you for listening. You're awesome. Go tweet us at nerdythingspod on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Okay. Nerdy.
And come back after you've seen the movie. Come on.
Come back. Come back and listen. Finish the episode. Stupid. Okay.
Because from the start of the movie, he's like, I want to be an Avenger. Come on, Tony Stark, let me be an Avenger. I'm going to go out and do stupid stuff that I have no ability to do and just put people's lives in danger because I want to be an Avenger. That's a summary of the movie right
Is
there.
that his voice?
Like, that's the summary of the movie. Yes.
Hmm.
They mentioned a couple of times in the movie how he sounds like a girl, so that's pretty much...
Wow.
Yeah, Dong Lover there did say that to him in the car park.
Dong
That was pretty
lover?
funny.
Don Glover was the best part of the whole movie.
Dong Lover?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
Best part of the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the one that played the Prowler. And I found out, because I didn't realize this, but in the Ultimate Comics, apparently Prowler is the uncle to the kid that's the other Spider-Man. So we may get the Ultimate Spider-Man in this as well. I can't think of his name right now.
It's start with an M, right? You're the one that's
Tobey
reading
Maguire.
the comics. Yeah, you're the one that's reading
Tobey
the comics,
Maguire.
right? You know.
Right? Let's see.
Hey, so the kid in his class, so
Miles
they call him
Morales.
Flash.
There you go.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, they call him Flash Thompson.
He's not really like the Flash.
No.
right?
He's not the Flash. No,
He's
that's
not
totally
the
different.
Flash.
That's
Okay,
DC.
Just making sure.
No, this is Flash Thompson, who's the high school bully of Peter Parker. And in the original 60s comics, he then goes off to Vietnam, becomes like a war veteran, and comes home, and he's all fucked up. And he eventually dates the Black Cat and becomes, I think it's at one point, he's like every other thing that you can be. Like, he's definitely Venom at one point. I'm pretty sure he's infected with something Hulk related at some point. He's like a million different things, and he's mean to Parker, and then he's not. Like, they become the best of friends later on.
Mm-hmm.
Because he plays prominently, I mean, as any of the students in the movie can, he plays pretty prominently in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I did like how all of the students were actually, like, you know, student aged and doing things that were appropriate for a student, and that Flash Thompson wasn't this like meathead jock bully.
Yeah.
He was an actual, like, this is the type of person that bullies now in schools bully.
Well, they go to a genius school.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing that struck me about this whole thing is like, there are no jock, meathead people. Like, this is a genius school. If there's anybody who's really good at football in this school, that is the king of the universe. Because they're both super smart and really good at sports, and essentially they could just rule the world. So that was one of the interesting things about the school side of it, but which I hate. Like, I don't know. I don't want to watch a teenager walk around and be a superhero like that. I guess that's what I didn't, I didn't hate this movie. I actually thought it was really good. I laughed at some points. I thought the action was good, but I don't like the character of Peter Parker. I just don't like that he's a teenager. I don't like that he's a whiny, petulant teenager, a selfish. I just don't like it.
But he's a teenager.
Turn on for me.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't want him to be a teenager. I want him to be a 20-something-year-old grown up.
But he'll get there.
Yeah, get a different.
Well, I wish they started there.
Get a different superhero, because I think everybody loves Peter Parker because he is so quote unquote relatable to the high school kid.
He's
or
an
whatever.
everyman.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what.
And especially in this. Jules, we're going to ruin this for you. I have no qualms about that.
No, totally
just so
cool.
we're
I'm probably
clear.
going to go see it a little bit later. So I'm cool.
I mean, I loved how awkward he was in this too. Like, especially when in one of the scenes when he's swinging from the rooftops and he totally misjudges the height and just winds up scraping himself across the rooftop. That was spectacular. I loved
Right,
that.
like that part of it was good. I agree.
And I loved when
he does play it well.
He's stopping the ATM robbery, and they don't know he's there, and we're watching him as he's figuring out like what pose he should be in, leaning against this door frame casually. Like that shows how everyman he is, and that to me, because Spider-Man's big thing in the comics is that he has a sense of humor that he uses because no one really expects you to say stupid shit at a time like we are fighting the Rhino or whatever, and it throws them off. Like, he's trying to distract them with his banter, which I think is what we do to people every week on this podcast. But
right.
He's doing that to cover for his own insecurities and inadequacies, and you see the physical manifestation of that in this movie. And it struck a chord with me. Like, I identify with how awkward he was for this, because I'm that awkward too.
All right, so listen, that's part of what I liked about the movie. I will agree, watching him kind of figure out, should I cross my arms? Should I cross my legs? Should I lean up against the pole while these guys are trying to, take an ATM out with a alien weapon? Like, that was funny. And, when he's flying around the city, being funny, trying to be the neighborhood, quote unquote, Spider-Man, like getting a churro, leaving a message for Happy, who won't answer his calls back.
That was so sad.
Right? It was sad. And that's where the movie was at its best. But the movie was at its worst when Tony Stark tells him dude, don't bite off more than you can chew. You are 15. He misquoted, said he was 14. You are 15. You need to learn. I'm
He's
sending you out to training
movie?
camp, essentially.
He's 15.
Yeah, 15.
Jesus
Freshman in high school.
God.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, basically, I'm sending you to training camp. Here's your cool multi-million-dollar suit. It can do certain things. Go figure this stuff out. Save a guy from losing his stolen bicycle. Stop, guy trying to steal a car stereo. Go do that. And when you get really good at it, we're going to talk again. Okay? But no, he wants to try and take on way more than he has the ability to do. And he puts other people in danger. So he makes one big mistake. Tony comes to him and goes, dude, I told you, chill out. Just skate your lane for right now. And then he goes and foils a frickin' FBI investigation on the Staten Island ferry and puts like 500 people and a boat in danger. Just being stupid and selfish just because he wants to be an Avenger. And I get that might be relatable to some people, but I find it selfish and annoying and not somebody who I want to root for.
And I get that. And I absolutely do. He did fuck up the FBI investigation. He is a child, and he was doing that just to be in the Avengers, but he was also doing that because he knew that this was a threat. These are alien weapons that are being put out on the street by the Vulture. He knew where they were. And he was being ignored. Happy wasn't returning his calls. Tony wouldn't listen to him. How does he know any of this is going on? Tony should have said, listen, kid, I got your message. It's fine. I'm on it. I will take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. The whole time watching it, I just felt annoyed. I'm like, dude, just listen to the big boys, okay? Just be 15 for a second, dude.
Right, but when you have that power, you have a responsibility to use it to make the world a better place. That's his whole mantra. That's the whole great power, great responsibility thing that they've built into the Spider-Man universe. And they don't come out and say it, it was great. I felt like they didn't beat us over the head with all of the Spider-Man tropes and lore that we get from every other Spider-Man movie. We didn't get the Uncle Ben backstory. We didn't get any of that, which I'm 100% behind. I
was super happy about that.
Yeah, they sort of gently touch on the fact that he was bit by a spider. We all know the story. We don't have to see it. It's, that's super cool. But that is who he is. And Tony should know that. Like, Tony's the one that showed up at this kid's house and took him to Germany and threw him in the middle of a battle because Tony knew that this would be okay with this kid. So Tony should know, by that same extension, that this is going to happen. That he is going to keep fighting until he has beaten everyone that is hurting anyone. And I put this on Tony. Tony did the wrong thing.
I don't know about that. He tried to be good Daddy Stark. He took him to Germany, that he gave him a good talking to. He gave him another good talking to. And then he even gave him props at one point for doing something. He's like, hey, that was a little overboard, but hey, I'm trying to be supportive. You saved some people. Good job. But dude, we got this under control. He says to him, we've got people that take care of this. And Tony notified the FBI. He did what he told him he was going to do. He said, people take care of this, quote unquote. And then he let the people know who take care of it to go take care of it. And meanwhile, Peter Parker is like, eee.
Right. But then they did the same thing. Peter's the only one that knows that the Vulture's going to steal Tony's shit off his plane. There's no one else on the plane. We got that. This is what, again, they didn't beat us over the head with this, but when Happy and Peter went to Germany, there wasn't a pilot on the plane. So Peter knows that there isn't going to be a pilot on the plane when they move all of the Avengers stuff out of Avengers Mansion because it's becoming Trump Tower or something. And so he knows that there's going to be no one to stop the Vulture, and Tony won't listen to him. Happy keeps hanging up on him, literally hanging up on him. What's he supposed to do? Let the Vulture take all of Tony's shit?
Yeah, he should have protected his family and his wannabe girlfriend and just left it alone.
And then what? Look at Tony and go, hey, I fucking told you, dude, not my problem?
Well, no, then go, when he finally gets his ear, say, I know where this stuff is.
How? The Vulture would be gone at that point, I'm sure. He'd move his family, he'd hide.
Nah, he wasn't going to move his family. He wanted that house, he wanted that life, he wanted it right there.
Yeah, you're right. At that point, he didn't know Peter would figure out who he was.
So I have a question. Was there any spectacular amazing acting performances by any of these
Michael
stars out there? Anybody? Yeah, that's what I was going to
Michael
ask
Keaton.
about, because everybody's raving about Michael Keaton's performance as the Vulture.
Yeah.
How was that? What did y'all think about that?
He was. I'm not going to ruin the reveal for Michael Keaton
No,
for
sure.
you.
Whatever.
Anyone that is listening to this hopefully has already seen it. And I think that this is something that needs to be experienced. But he was amazing. He was such a dark but believable character.
Yeah, see,
throughout
I
this whole
believed
thing.
him. And I believed, honestly, he's the villain, but I believed that he was doing things for the right reason. He got a little carried away at the end, but I think especially at the beginning, like, he had really good motives for doing the stuff that he was doing. And he played that well. He played both sides of this coin. I guess we're not going to spoil that, but he played both sides of that coin. By the way, did you see that coming, Kev?
Not for a second.
So the
No.
funny thing is, when it happened, everybody's like, oh, the whole theater. Like, there was collective groans and, like, all this kind of stuff. Seriously, and I haven't been in a theater where I saw that in a long time. Like, and it's funny, as soon as it happened, I was like, I should have seen that. Like, I totally should have put the pieces together, but they had me distracted with other stuff, and I didn't. And it was a really, really good reveal, and you don't get that very often anymore. So that was one of the moments that made this movie worthwhile for me, was when they had this reveal of who he is. And I'm like, oh man, I should have seen that, but I didn't. And I didn't feel bad because apparently nobody else in the theater did either.
No, it came out of nowhere. I was super shocked by it. And that's the thing, is like, with all of this, all of the rumors that came out of Spider-Man and all of the other stuff that was ruined, to have a surprise in it made me super happy. Even the reveal near the end, where we had rumors about who was playing Mary Jane and all that. Like, I was still happy with all of that, because
Right.
you don't know what's happening there either. That was
Right.
that was another really cool moment. Yeah, I don't know. A decent movie, super decent movie. Great action pieces in it too, and
The action was good.
especially that last fight between Peter and the Vulture. I loved how it was so one-sided, and it was so not in Peter's favor, and he still comes out on top, and he's still the goodest good guy.
The goodest.
You know, he is the goodest good guy, because
Well, that was where him being real actually paid off for me. Like, that part of it, I really liked.
Yeah.
You know, the final battle sequence, he played a real character. It was relatable. It was everyman. And it was like, I have the strength and will inside of me to do this. And I liked that part of it. I just wish they hadn't gone the annoying route to get there. But
Sure.
that part was worth it, you know?
So, with Tom Holland in this movie, where does he fall on your Spider-Man spectrum, and who is your favorite Spider-Man, I guess, in the movies, or
Yep.
what sort of Spider-Man is your favorite Spider-Man? Because I know they had some TV show, the animated one, which is, you know, really dear to my heart because I watched that when I was growing up. They had a bunch of other Spider-Mans on TV as well. Some comics. Which is your favorite movie Spider-Man, and then what's your favorite Spider-Man overall, I guess? And how did Tom Holland do with his new interpretation of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, even?
Kev, go.
So okay. So my top
I know that was a
3
lot, yeah.
Spider-Man actors, right? All right. So my top 3 would have to be Tom Holland in the number 1 slot.
Uh-huh.
Neil Patrick Harris in the number 2 slot, because he played Spider-Man in the animated series, the new animated series, and then Drake Bell, who also
Who
played
did
him in
the-
the Ultimate Spider-Man comics,
Yeah.
or cartoon rather. Yeah. I think those are the only 3 Spider-Men.
To be fair, Drake Bell does a really good
Listen,
job.
I'm going this route. I'm putting NPH number 1, and I didn't even know he played Spider-Man. So NPH is number 1. Andrew Garfield's number 2, and then I really don't like the rest of the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, no, that's fine with me. You can be wrong. That's allowed.
I will say I kind of like how the arc of this movie and the way that they resolve the end sets up another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't set up teaming up with the Avengers. It sets up another Spider-Man movie, which is cool.
It is, and I think so from what I'm hearing from outside with Marvel and all that, it sounds like Spider-Man is going to be like the Tony Stark of the next phase in Marvel movies where he's going to be the core that holds it all together. And so I believe the next movie is still him in high school. It is going to be, like sort of a continuation from this. I'm not sure if I think we're getting that after the next Avengers movie, but before the fourth Avengers movie. And so we'll have to see how that works. But it will be kind of interesting because it will be a smaller scope because we don't have all the other stuff going on with all the other heroes because I'm pretty sure they're all going to die in the next Avengers.
All of them, yeah. What I really wish they would have done with Doctor Strange is what they would have given him hopefully another movie by himself, because I think that was a really good movie. And then the end credits of Doctor Strange, spoiler alert, whatever, with Thor, and there's like a whole thing there. But I really wanted another Doctor Strange just movie by itself. And it might happen because they do have Benedict Cumberbatch do all the fucking, he's doing that now. So, I mean, hopefully they give it.
Bandersnatch Cucumber is a really good actor. And I think we are going to get another movie from him very shortly.
I'm good. I'm happy.
But I think it's going to be just after the new Spider-Man movie.
And what you were saying with Spider-Man, I mean, from what I know in the comics, he's the one that kind of holds everything together anyways. And it just so happened that Iron Man was the front runner because he was the MCU, movie verse, whatever, he was the guy that started it off. And I think that's just the way the cards landed. But now that they have a good Spider-Man.
It just so happened that Marvel owned the rights to Iron Man at that point and didn't own the rights to Spider-Man.
And then, it became a huge Iron Man thing. But
here's my concern though. If Spider-Man is the future of the MCU, this kid's gonna have to get a whole lot better a whole lot quickly. Because
better how? What do you mean?
Better. I mean,
better not spoiling
Robert
shit?
Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is a Oscar caliber actor. He is a fantastic actor, and he is Tony Stark. Like, come on! I mean, Tony Stark has become, as somebody who didn't read comic books growing up, Tony Stark has become one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Not Iron Man, Tony Stark. You know what I mean? And he's funny, and he's a leader, and he's just he's good and bad all at the same time. And Robert Downey Jr. plays him perfect. And you understand why he's the leader of the MCU. Like, you get it. And he carries that weight as an actor, as a person, just everything. I don't see, like, if Tom Holland is going to be in charge of this, like, I don't see me being like, oh, I can't wait to go see an Avengers 5 because Tom Holland is leading the Avengers. You know what I mean? Some of the best parts of the Spider-Man movie were because Tony Stark was in it.
Ooh,
I can't wait until the next Spider-Man movie, or rather, I can't wait until the next Avengers movie. When you find out that this was all him acting and that he is a great actor because he was acting like he's a terrible actor.
I don't think he was a terrible... Don't get me wrong. I don't think he was a terrible actor. I think he played the part fine. He's not Robert frickin' Downey frickin' Jr.
Good.
That's our next shirt, please.
Because that would be weird. It would be Robert Downey Jr. Jr. or Robert Downey the Third.
Yeah, I'm the third.
We got into this with the whole Willie Nelson 5 thing. We don't need to rehash that. It's just, I mean, he's not Robert Downey Jr. He's not. He's not even any of those guys. He's this kid. And that's why I say, I'm not ruling it out, but he has to get a whole lot better really quickly.
So you're saying
because he's got some big time actors to fill the shoes of.
For sure. You're saying in the movie with Michael Keaton, with Robert Downey Jr., he just seemed a little out of it. He wasn't up to their caliber. Of course not, but
he wasn't up to their caliber. It felt at times to me like, I'm just going to use a random thing, but like in Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence is a tremendous actress, and she made the Hunger Games franchise like a real movie, not just a young adult thing, because she's a tremendous actress. And there's times when she's in scenes with the kid who plays PETA. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, PETA.
And he's just outmatched by her, And it was only a little bothersome, but like when they're in one-on-one scenes, he is outmatched by her. And that's fine here and there, but throughout this movie, I mean, he was outmatched by these great actors. When he was in scenes with his peers, he was great. But when he's in there with Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Jr. is clearly a better actor. Michael Keaton's clearly a better actor. And whatever, but if he's going to carry a movie franchise that has become a $12 billion movie franchise, he just needs to get a whole lot better really quickly.
I think I can boil this down a little more simply. So you're saying that in the scenes where this kid was acting against adults, he acted like a kid. And when he was in scenes with kids, he was normal. He was he was a kid.
No, let me spin this for you in a different way.
Please.
It's not necessarily his age level or his personality or the maturity of the character. It is the weight he carries while on screen. And another random example, the TV show Third Rock from the Sun. Okay? John Lithgow, my opinion, tremendous actor. Love John Lithgow. French Stewart, as a sitcom actor, is a really good sitcom actor. Like, he had this character, and it was great. And then you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's like 10. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is supposed to be playing a guy who is older than the rest of them, but he is a kid. So the maturity level of what he has as a person is a kid. I never felt like Joseph Gordon-Levitt was outmatched by John Lithgow, which is saying a lot, and which is why I'm a huge Joseph Gordon-Levitt fan. And as an adult, I think he's a tremendous actor. I don't think Tom Holland carries, for me, I just don't think he carries the weight of a great actor right now.
But Spider-Man's young and he's a street-level hero. I'm hoping, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm hoping...
And I'm not saying he won't, but I think you're getting what I'm saying. He needs to get better quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All
We're
right,
on the same page here.
Yes, we agree.
Let's just bring Tobey Maguire back, please. That's all I want.
Or not. I'm
not saying he won't, but if he has one more movie, and then there's an Avengers movie, and then he's taking over the universe, that's like 3 years down the road. He's going to get a lot better really fast.
Yeah, and he'll have the time to do that.
Maybe.
You know what? I was really on the fence before we started this, Tim. I was going to text you a bunch of quote-unquote spoilers that didn't make any sense to kind of pepper throughout this for the sake of screwing up Jules when he sees this movie. Like the thing I put earlier about how the reveal that Andrew Garfield was the spider that bit him. That's the type of weird stuff that, like, you sit there if you haven't seen this movie and you go, is it true?
No,
could that be
who
true?
says that? No. If you're saying that, whoa, did he just say a spoiler right now? If you're saying that, please stop listening to us. Go get help.
Give them massive credit though, because they did actually have several big reveals, and for a podcast that's been bragging on them for 6 months, saying, wow, they've let us see the whole movie, for there to actually be stuff left that we were shocked by, that's an achievement. So if nothing else, good. I'll give the movie at least an 8 for achieving that.
Yeah, let's get into what you would give. So Tim gives it an 8, I guess, or is that your final 8 for?
I'm going to give it an 8 just for that, yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Kevin?
Perfect. I give it a 10. I loved this movie. I thought this was exactly what a superhero movie needs to be now. This is a 2017 superhero movie. We're not getting backstory. We're in the middle of things. He's a relatable character, and it's quote-unquote real-world superhero. I'm in. So, the acting was great. I loved what's-his-face and the other guy. They were wonderful.
What's his face and the other guy?
And she was good too.
And she was good too. You know, like they all 4 of them were great.
Very cool. So you would give it what you gave Baby Driver? Because I think you gave Baby Driver a 10 as well.
Yeah, I would. I think that those are 2 movies that were great. Really, you know, and I'm very critical of movies, but I think that both of them warrant seeing.
Can I add 2 things? One, because 2 topics you just brought up made me think. One, I forgot to give credit to his friend. Did we know the name of that actor?
Ned? I don't know the name of Ned. Yeah.
Ned was a killer character. I liked Ned more than I liked Peter Parker. I just thought Ned was awesome. He played the character.
His actual name is Ned Leeds, so.
Is it really?
I think so. No,
Jacob the character he was playing was I don't think we ever got his last name. Did we get his last name in the movie that it was Leeds?
In the movie, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. It's Leeds, I think. And Jacob Batalon portrays Ned and
Jacob. This kid Jacob did a great job because he plays the character perfectly of a kid, like a normal kid, who's like, dude, I know Spider-Man, and I gotta keep this secret, but I kind of want to be part of this. But he never pushes it too much, and he even discourages Peter from doing certain things that are too much, so I give him credit for that too. Awesome job. The other thing is, since last week, I saw Baby Driver.
Okay, cool.
Baby Driver was awesome. It was still not, hasn't supplanted Guardians of the Galaxy as my favorite movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that struck me about Baby Driver is it's a musical where people don't sing.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
all of that being choreographed, and how everybody's like, oh, it's so amazing. I think it's because most of the people that went to see this movie, because they see it as an action movie, heist movie, don't go to see musicals.
For sure.
So, dude, get over your macho-ness. If you liked Baby Driver, go see La La Land.
Yeah.
It will blow you away. Go see like a real musical, because
Cats.
this is what musicals are, but the people actually sing. And it's really cool too, okay? So just get over yourself, go see La La Land, go see Moulin Rouge, go see Chicago.
And if you're like a pseudo fan, just go watch Lion King. I mean, that's a fucking fantastic one too. And they have amazing music. So, yeah, for sure. What would you give Baby Driver, Tim? Because we didn't get your number. So you got 8 for Spider-Man, 8.5. Very cool. So well, it goes without saying, my number one Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. So he's the only Spider-Man I care about. And we have
well, you're going to have to report back once you see this one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Next week, hopefully I'm probably going to go see it right now. But by then, you'll know who my Spider-Man is, who my true Spider-Man is. And if you like Tobey Maguire, we have a Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man tee or mug or sticker or whatever you want in our merch store, tpublic.com. Yep. Go search Nerdy Things Pod, Nerdy Things POD, no spaces, and you can get that as well as a bunch of other stuff. We have all that stuff there on our TeePublic merch, whatever. So, is that all we wanted to say on Spider-Man? Are y'all good with that?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Very cool. So let us know what you thought about Spider-Man, what you thought about Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, all those guys. Let us know on Twitter at NerdyThingsPod, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. You can email us as well if you still do that. nerdythingspod@gmail.com is where you can do that. And for next week's episode, I have an idea, but do y'all have anything?
What you got?
Game of Thrones is coming back.
Hell no, I got nothing.
Kevin's not even going to be here next week.
Game of Thrones is coming back. Oh, yeah.
Well, conceivably, except for the fact that I've never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
Exactly. If you want to watch like the first episode or the first 2 episodes, that could be a thing. Or if you want something else.
I think we'll have to talk sidebar and figure that out, because I don't think I could do a Game of Thrones episode for next week. But we can figure something out.
Yeah. Save that for after I come back, because I'll do that with you.
Okay,
and we can indoctrinate Tim into it.
I was just saying we can watch the first first couple episodes and talk about that or whatever. But
I'm
still on vacation this
but
week,
I will tie him down and make him do that after the. Yeah, he's not going to be home.
Oh yeah, you're still on the beach. I forgot.
Which is where I'm heading in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So that's what you got.
So
you'll sidebar.
Yeah, we'll let you know what we're doing next week, definitely on Twitter and Instagram and all that. So make sure to follow us, stay subscribed, leave us an iTunes review if you like us, and let us know if you don't. Leave a 1-star. Be that first person to leave us a 1-star, because that means we're a real podcast, guys. Just be
that's
that first
the metric.
One. Yeah, that's the thing.
To pull a page from Derek from the Wild Pitch podcast, if you leave a star, don't just run away. Tell us why you hate us, please.
Yeah, sure. We'd love to read it. And we'd love to tell you why we hate you as well. So I'd like to thank Adipsia for the use of his song Friends Don't Let Friends Go to TGI Fridays. And you can find more of his music at adipsia.bandcamp.com. He just released a new album called The Stoic.
The Stoic.
And you can listen to that.
Thanks for that, Kev.
Right? Hey, I got you back, buddy.
Yeah.
I'd also like to thank the Bell Curve for the music we use under the main big, huge topic.
Topic.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks.
Later.
Bye.